Hi, friends, it's me, Miss Griffin. You started learning about nonfiction books this week. I love learning about nonfiction. So we're going to do a little practice, and today's lesson is called Getting Ready to Read Nonfiction. So when readers get started with a new book, we don't just open it and start reading. We get ready to read it. We begin by looking at the book and thinking about the topic. Then we think about what we already know about that topic, and then we make predictions about what we think we're going to read or learn from the book. So when I start to read a new book, I do a lot of thinking work before I do. First, I read the title, and I study really closely the front and back covers. Let's look at this book. The title of this book is An Animal Community. And right away I notice that this is not a picture. Someone didn't draw this. This is a photograph. Someone took a camera and took a picture of these animals. Now let's look closely at the animals. What might this topic of this nonfiction book be? What kind of animal does it look like? Think for a minute. Yeah, to me it looks like a groundhog. Do you remember when we were learning about groundhogs on Groundhog's Day? Yeah, this animal reminds me of a groundhog or a prairie dog. So right away I know this book is probably nonfiction because of the title and the pictures. We can tell it's a real life topic. Okay, and then I think about what I already know about prairie dogs. Well, like I said, we talked about groundhogs a little bit on Groundhog's Day, and I remember that they live in burrows and they come out, they hibernate. So I wonder if we're going to read about those kind of things in this book. And then I ask myself, I make predictions, what are we going to learn from this book? So to do that, we're going to open up the inside and we're going to look at the table of contents. The table of contents is in a lot of nonfiction books, not all of them, but it's really cool because it tells you what the book is going to be about, what you're going to learn. So let's look at some of them, some of the topics. So the first one, what is a community? And that's on page 4. So we can turn straight over to page 4, and we know it. We look at our page number, and we can look at the illustration, the photograph. And I see a group of groundhogs. So I wonder if a community is a group of groundhogs or prairie dogs. What else are we going to learn in this book? A prairie dog town on page 6. Sharing food, page 8. That's interesting. I wonder how prairie dogs share food and what do they eat? What other predictions might we make before we read this nonfiction book? Prairie dog families, community daycare. That's interesting. Page 12. I'm making a prediction about community daycares, and I'm very curious about that. What will we learn about prairie dog community daycares? Let's see, working together, town guards, prairie dog teachers, communication, the rodent family, and words to know in the index. So the table of contents helps us as we take a picture walk and look at what we think this book is going to be about, what we're going to learn about as we read about prairie dogs. Oh, this one I see a coyote and a hawk and a fox. That makes me make a prediction because I'm using what I already know about predators and prey, and I wonder if these are predators of prairie dogs. I can't wait to learn and read about this book, An Animal Community. So as readers, we preview our nonfiction book. We do a lot of thinking and discovering. We think about, I think we're going to read about how animals live together and how they work together in a community and how they stay safe. Maybe we'll learn about this, about where this animal lives too. Okay, so I want to get ready to read this book. Okay, before we do, let's look back at our chart. These are some things that we want to think about. Okay, So before we read, we're going to read the title, study the front and back cover, read the table of contents, and take a picture walk. And we're going to ask ourselves these things, I think, okay? What kind of book is this? What do I think I already know about this topic? And what might I read or learn about this book? Okay, so let's take a look at this book. Before we open the book, we have to preview it and think. First, let's read the title together and both study the front and back covers. So the title is What We Wear, Dressing Up Around the World. And I see a little boy, and wow, what a beautiful outfit he has on. It's like he's dressing up for something very special. And I think that because of all the details in his outfit. Okay, let's look at the back cover. I see a little girl, and she's dressed up in an outfit too. It looks different from the front cover. And it looks like maybe she's playing in the grass. So I wonder if this is something she wears every day, if she's out and playing in this outfit. Okay, so we previewed the book, we read the title, and then now let's ask, what kind of book is this? Do you think this is fiction, nonfiction, or poetry? Brooke, pull out your whisper turtle and whisper what you think, what kind of book you think this is. What do you guys think? Nonfiction, you're right. We know that by the title, What We Wear, Dressing Up Around the World, and by the it's not an illustration, the photograph of the little boy on the front cover. Okay, great job. Now let's ask what we already know about this topic. Think about what you've learned about dressing up from school, books, TV, and movies. This book doesn't have a table of contents, so let's take a picture walk through it. What We Wear. Let's just look at a couple of the pages. So we can see there are different photographs in this nonfiction book of different kids. It looks like they're from all over the world, and they're all wearing different outfits. And this one, it looks like they're playing finger paint. We do that at school. And these girls are holding hands and playing. These guys look like they might be doing a dance. Maybe they're dressing up for a dance. Wow, these girls have flowers in their hair. Wow, and they have art on their face and feathers and all of their jewelry. A couple more pictures. Wow, look at their beautiful outfits. This one's playing music. This one's outside. So, now looking at some of the pictures, what do you think this book might be about? Pull out your whisper turtle and tell them, what do you predict this book is going to be about? Whisper to your turtle. That's right. This book is going to be about children dressing up around the world while they play. We saw kids playing, and we also saw them dressed up in really nice outfits, maybe for holidays or special celebrations. Okay, guys, so it's important for you to remember that before you even start reading a nonfiction book, that we do some really good thinking work. First, we look at the title. Of the book. We study the front and back covers, and we read the table of contents if it has one, and we take a picture walk. And while we're doing those things, we ask, what kind of book is it? What do I think I already know about the topic? What might I read or learn about in this book? So today, when you are reading in Raz Kids, I want you to look in your assignments and in your leveled up, your books that you have in your level, and think about, before you read, what kind of book is it? What do you already know if it is nonfiction? And what do you think you're going to learn and then read? Okay, happy reading!